Welcome everyone to the Crypto.Mania EP.3. Happy Friday to everyone. Today is the 13th of June 2025. I hope everyone had a great week. Let's allow a few more seconds for a few more people to join. Also checking if the stream is working fine with the audio and video. Okay, great, all great. So welcome everyone to the show. Today episode will be about the meme coins apocalypse. It's going to be an interesting one regarding the market condition, and despite the event that we are recently seeing around the world. Of course, we are not going to comment on anything around the politics or world event, but as you know, the market reacts depending on how the structure is unfolding. As always, we favor the technical structure over the fundamental. Okay, hello there. Thank you as well for the confirmation. Just checking if there is any issue there. So all good. Okay, so let's start. As usual, we'll be just doing a quick recap over the Bitcoin overall structure in the long term and the short term. Just quickly review. Then we'll be going over the main meme coins. We'll be taking a look at the cycles taking place within the dailies and weekly meme coins, like of course the leading father Dogecoin, some coins like Pepe, or some of the newest one like Fartcoin. I know everyone is looking for that. We also checking SPX 6900, a lot of them, but most importantly we need to understand that not every meme coin will be presenting good buying opportunity. So that's why we'll be keeping the best, or let's say the clear structure at the end to explain why we should be looking for trading those, and we shouldn't be rushing into every meme coin that you see everyone is posting about. Okay, so let's start by reviewing this Bitcoin weekly chart. We've been showing this chart since the first episode. Hello there, my friend. Thank you for joining. So as you can see, since Bitcoin made the recent new all-time highs in May, breaking above the January peak, we market this as a wave one. We explained it that the reason we are not calling this as a wave 5. We are not calling for this to be a double top like you see over the social media. We are still expecting Bitcoin to remain supported above the April low. So basically should remain supported above 75k. And we expecting, since hitting the 618 area around 111, we expected a pullback to take place before the market resume. Now remember, the pullbacks or the correction are always the trickiest part of the market cycles, and they can take different type of forms. So that's we're gonna see in the short term, because we can have the wave 2 in place already as long as price stays above the recent low from last week, or the market could still dip lower into the wave 2. That doesn't change anything within this weekly move to the upside, because we are still aiming for the higher target around 135, 150 area. So that's of course still expected to happen within the coming few months, expecting by September, October 2025. So overall, the weekly hasn't changed. The only thing that could be adjusted in the near term, which means that if this wave 2 pullback is still in progress, we could be still seeing further correction in the coming few weeks, and to July maybe. Then the market will resume the rally later on. So it's step-by-step process. We got the first leg into new highs. Now we are in the process of getting that correction to form the next higher low, and we should be trading into new highs. So let's switch to the short term. If we take a look at the 4-hour short-term structure that took place recently. I just want to explain it really clearly, and I will give you the two scenarios that could be taking place for BTC here. So I'm going with the more aggressive approach, that we have the low in place last week, the 5th of June. If that's the low and wave 2 is in place, despite we are seeing that we have, technically speaking, a 5 swing lower, which we explained it that this could be on the start of a larger correction. So we're gonna talk about that in a moment, but we need to understand that as long as the 5th of June is holding, there is a high chance for now that we could be starting the next leg higher. We still didn't see new lows, despite the big drop we're seeing since yesterday. Almost 6% move to the downside. For now, it remains a technical move. We can see the short term, if we moved even in the 30-minute chart, that it was a purely technical move. 3 swings exactly into the extreme blue box area, and from there the market is bouncing. Now there will be a decision time over this weekend, because this bounce is going to define where can Bitcoin go next. This is really important because this will be reflected on the rest of altcoins, and specifically the meme coins that we're going to talk about today. And if we can take a look at this current bounce, for now it's only showing 3 swings up. So this bounce is, technically speaking, at this stage remain corrective. If this bounce fail without trying to reclaim 106, 107 in the coming 2 days, then most likely the correction remain in progress. And we go to this chart to explain the idea that this could be part of the larger ABC. All better to wait to put 8-hour chart here. So if the correction against April low remain in progress, then the first leg was in A that we saw last week. We did a bounce that failed in B, which is really important. That's why we've been explaining in these live shows that the structure breaking into new highs is always the best gift for you to confirm the continuation. Without breaking the previous peak, which we didn't see in the recent bounce, there will be always a chance of another extension to the downside. You need to take the peaks around 111, 112 for the market to confirm the continuation. Until that happens, the market could drop again toward 97, 93 area. Technically speaking, the equal legs is around 99, 91 area. So you have 2 extremes within the equal legs or within the 50% area. So this could be still part of the correction wave 2, which if I go back here, this wave 2 in black, either it's in place. For this to be a confirmation, you need to break above 112k. If we don't break, then the double correction or the ABC lower remain in progress, and then we could be looking to find that buying area probably in the coming 2 weeks. I don't know the exact timing. I mean, if we just use potential extension of the time here, so this could still take us into by the end of June, 25th of June, if we are using the similar cycles in time. But overall, if this correction remain in progress, it will be presenting a really good buying opportunity for later on, because the majority of alts will be following Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops, even this is looking to be a small drop, just another 10%, but as you know, a 10% in Bitcoin will be reflected with 20 or 30% drop on the rest of altcoins. And for us, that's going to be another extreme area. We will be watching for this. The same way that we expected this to provide a bounce last week, we're expecting the same if Bitcoin managed to drop lower around 97. It shouldn't be something you should be afraid of, because this is another technical structure. You had a 5 wave to the upside from April. Now the market should correct either in 3, 7 or 11 swings. Even at this stage, from here, the market could bounce again similar to this and give you another move lower toward 88. I won't be scared to see this type of correction during the summer, because as you know, summer, either the market is going to be aggressive and more volatile, but majority of the time with summer vacations, the market slow down and enter sideways. We saw this many times before, so I won't be surprised that June and July, the market could be sideways to lower, and then mid-July entering August, the market will start the final push where Bitcoin will be surging toward 120, 135. It's always a step by step. There is no rush to take any position. If you are a long, you should be holding your longs. If you are looking to trade the market, wait for the market to give you the next extreme. So that should be just a quick update for Bitcoin. I don't see any adjustment, to be honest with you. Bitcoin seems to be clear. You need to zoom out to the weekly so you understand the structure. So keep in mind that this wave 2 is not going to be changing the path. It's going to be either here or slightly lower within the 90 range. If that's the case, then it's going to be a good buying opportunity. Now let's move on to the main topic of the session. Keep in mind, you are welcome to drop your question, favorite meme coins in the chat. We'll be analyzing them at the end. I'm open to all the ideas that you can share here. We can discuss anything that you want about the crypto market. We can go over even other coins. Doesn't need to be a meme coin. So it's up to you to share your coins here. So feel free to do it. Okay, just checking, refreshing the chat here to be sure that we are getting the latest, because sometimes it keeps stuck. Okay. Okay, so let's go over the meme coins. Of course, we'll be starting with the biggest meme coin within the crypto world here, Dogecoin. One of the favorite coins for many of you. But as you know, unfortunately, in this cycle, Dogecoin still didn't manage to make new all-times. There is a lot of still hype or calls for new all-time highs to happen for Dogecoin. Remember, this is one of the fewest altcoins that survived basically 3 cycles since 2013. It's been making, if you look at the overall chart, it's been making higher highs and higher lows. So technically speaking, the bigger picture for Dogecoin will remain bullish overall. Nothing have changed. It's a bullish coin. One of the fewest, because majority of alts, as always, will bleed to death. They will be dropping 99%. They won't be surviving 2 cycles in a row. Majority of them will go to zero. This is a fact that you need to live with it. We are seeing, of course, some coins that survive and thrive on the next cycle. But if we take the overall market, I mean, we have millions of coins now, specifically in this cycle. So you need to understand that picking the right one is the hardest job. But seeing this, one of the oldest coin, technically speaking, a meme coin, is surviving through the cycles, now 12 years basically, that give you the overall picture that this should remain bullish, even if it's not going to make a new all-time highs this cycle, which we'll be discussing in a second. It's bullish, and the next cycle could be rallying into new highs. So let's go back to the regular chart. Now we need to understand that for now, all we have for Doge is that we are seeing higher lows. From 2021 peak, the recent peak into December 2024 is still lower highs, and therefore the probability of Doge making another leg to new all-time highs is less likely for now. That doesn't deny it, of course, because if we see that a target from the lows of 2021 based on the current April low, which is going to be the key level for the entire market in the short term, and we'll be explaining why, because not every announcement will be surviving that level, and we need to act based on that. So for now, if we take a look at Dogecoin in the short term, it's still holding April, and based on that cycle, it is going to see a potential target around 56 or 66 area. It still have the possibility of making new all-time highs toward 0.8. I know the $1 mark is what basically everyone is aiming for since the last cycle. Doge to the $1 has been the slogan for the entire rally since 2021. But for now, the maximum target that could be opening if an extension higher takes place is going to be 0.83. To be honest with you, I don't see this is happening in the near term. And the market needs to prove me wrong on this one, because I want to see Dogecoin starting to show an impulsive rally. For now, I don't see any clear impulsive rally taking place. Even the recent bounce, compared to many coins that did manage to rally into new highs, you can see Doge, all it did is not even a 2x, 96% move to the upside, but most importantly, the bounce was basically in 3 waves. So this is really not encouraging structure. We saw that this recent rally in May, some of the coins did manage to make new highs. If Doge did manage to do it, it will help to establish the 5 waves. But for now, let's take it step by step. It's showing a corrective bounce, which is reflecting the meme situation, because I'll go over the data in a few, but 2024 was clearly, without a doubt, the meme year. We had memes left and right, coins doing tremendous numbers. We're seeing thousands of X's, we're seeing hundreds of X's, 500X left and right, and people were making money, of course. But you need to understand, nothing lasts forever, and money rotation do happens, because the money flow will be the one dictating which narrative will be the one driving the cycles. And for this one, the meme coin cycle can be seen that since the peak in December, which marked the peak for majority of the memes, has been dropping. We've been seeing, Dogecoin already dropped 72%. If I go over a few of them later on, we will be seeing the 80% drop, 90% drop, which is why majority of these memes won't be able to rally into new all-time highs. Only few of them, the market will always give you exceptions, but you shouldn't be relying on exception to make money or to make a plan for trading or for investment. You always need to have a clear plan based on real data, not only on exceptions. So for now, short term, Dogecoin, let's see, because the recent drop is still holding the last week lows, similar to Bitcoin. For now, it's holding the lows. Now, you have two possibilities that could be playing out. I would go with the bullish one, just to give you the idea that this is still, technically speaking, have the potential of rallying. As long as it holds these lows, the market could just create an impulsive wave to the upside if it holds the low from the 5th of June. And so, technically speaking, above 0.16, if it managed to hold above it, today's close will be important, then the market could bounce. However, we need to keep in mind that if Bitcoin is going to extend lower in this wave too, then Doge or Dogecoin, everyone has different pronunciation for it, but whatever you want, could still do something similar to this, retest entirely the April lows, and then bounce. I'm not even denying that it could even make a new marginal low. The fact that we are still within this range, which is basically since the start of this year, we are not even breaking December peak. That's telling me that the meme coin market is still weak. You are only seeing few of the memes trying to break into new highs. Majority are still within the lows range. If we just take a quick look here, I'll just put the weekly chart. Let's go over the biggest one. So let's take a look at Pepe. Pepe is still trading within the same range. I'll go over the short term in a few moments. If I go to SHIB, one of the craziest gains that we saw in the previous cycle, is still trading within the lows. If I go to Bonk, also trading within the lows. So a retest of April or March in this case could be seen in the near term. That doesn't mean this is bearish. Some stocks will do a deeper retest in wave 2. Let's suppose, for example, if this is your wave 2. Wave 2 could be brutal. It could retest the lows, hold it, and rally again. A good example of this, if you go to the Bitcoin chart, let's take a look, for example, Bitcoin chart in the weekly, and check. Let me delete the entire labels. Let's go back to 2020. So you see this move? This was the first leg. I'm just going to explain the idea of a deep pullback of wave 2. Hello, my friend Nato. Yeah, hodl. That's the idea with the right coins. So if you go back to 2020, you can see the first rally, a 5-wave advance. What happened to the market? It turned it into sideways, a final flush, retesting almost the lows. So it was a larger 3 swings, retested the lows, almost managed to make new lows, and then it resumed the rally or started the new cycle. That's how deep it can be as a wave 2. You see the structure? I mean, the market is just repeating itself in different time frame. I mean, this is a weekly cycle from Bitcoin, but this can be the same happening in the short term for a couple of investments. So I go back to the chart that I was showing in a moment. Just allow me for a second. Okay. So, as I explained it, I mean, let's suppose this is the same. This is the first leg. If the market could be retesting the lows without breaking April, then it could be rallying again later on. It's still a process. So it's not going to be an easy path for the meme coins in the short term, but let's go over the rest, I mean the main leading one, before we explain why we are not expecting a new bullish cycle for the majority of the memes. Now, if I take a look at PP in the short term, this is one of the clearest structure. For example, the correction that is taking place against, in this case, March. For me, when I see a cycle in March compared to the rest, that's more bullish technically speaking, because majority of the coins did new lows in April. PP did manage to hold April. Managed to hold March and only made a higher low in April. So that's technically speaking a supportive structure for the announcement. But keep in mind that not every meme coin did the same. So for now, we can argue that this is not the cleanest 5 waves. I can call this just an SBC because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swings. So this could be just, technically speaking, an ABC. And the internal here is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we want to make the bearish case for Pepe, this is just a 3-wave bounce. And the market will be dropping from here. So you see, the market is not yet giving you the clearest bullish break until it takes the previous peak. For this is not the bull sector that you want to see, but we're gonna discuss it anyway in the short term. We're gonna discuss the next extreme, which is around this blue box area. Why we are going to see this? Because most likely after this 5-wave decline, similar to Bitcoin, if this is a 5-wave move to the downside, then this is your first leg in A. You fail the bounce in B, and the market, if it managed to break the 5th of June, you can see we've been repeating 5th of June again, which is an important level for the short term. As long as we are holding the 5th of June, the market could rally. But the moment you break it, which could happen during the weekend, which could happen next week, I don't know what's going to happen during the weekend with world event, but if the market drops again, then the next extreme area where majority would be finding a low, as explained by the end of June, maybe around the 25th, that should be another extreme for the market to look for a bounce. It doesn't mean this is going to rally into new all-time highs from here. All is suggestion that from here, the market should be bouncing at least in 3 waves. Best case scenario, we will be rallying within a similar leg to this one. So let's take the probability. If we're going to see another leg similar to the rally from March, from this area, Pepe is going to aim for, I mean, let's skip the zeros, so it's easier for everyone. So it's going to target the 18th or 21 level. Keep in mind, this is still below December peak. You see, even with this move to the upside, it's still below the previous peak. So that's why I'm saying there will be a rally during the summer. There will be a rally into October, but the move from the lows doesn't guarantee new highs. There is specific coins that guarantee this break because either they have a bullish sequence or they already took this peak. Pepe for now is still lagging. Keep in mind, which is many are not expecting. Many are still expecting a big alt season. Majority are expecting that they could still buy any coin now and could do 100x or 1000x. Of course, there is still example of that I will show in a second as an exception, but you already, technically speaking, missed the majority of the rally. Pepe since 2023 low, I mean, I'm not sure if this is the entire history, but at least from the data that I have here on TradingView, it already rallied 16. I'm sure this number is higher, but I'm just giving an example. The entire rally already did 16k in percentage. So basically, that's 1,600 x from the lows. So majority of the people that are not seeing the bigger picture, the meme coins rally already took place since 2023. Same example, if I take a look at WIF, for example. The rally that happened was a tremendous one. So this was, let's see, a 60x move to the upside. If I take a look at Bonk, I'm just using the data. I mean, it could be wrong, of course, but just an approximate idea to give you this one, 40k%. So that's basically a 400x to the upside with Bonk. So you see how this tremendous gain already took place. So the expectation of something similar to again happen usually is not right, because remember, the second rallies are the weakest. I will give you a clear example. If I go, for example, to SHIB from last cycle, which was one of the huge gainers, 165k in terms of percentage. Of course, I mean, sorry, this is even higher, 165 million, technically speaking, in percent. I mean, tremendous numbers. But the second rally in terms of structure, which I will show here, let's go to the logarithmic chart to explain it. I'll put, so the first rally was here, and the second rally by October 21 was here. So let's take a look at percentage wise. If you check the first rally from the lows, I'll just use, let's take this one like this. You see this one? So basically 70 million. Now let's look at the second one, which in the regular chart looks bigger, but in terms of percentage, this one was only 1,500. So it was only 15x move. But when you switch the chart, this one looks bigger. So the illusion of having more gains in the second phase of the market or in the second push is always giving you false hope, because even if we're expecting, for example, Pepe to run to new all-time highs, which is technically speaking on the table, so I'll go to the targets in a second. Okay, I'm seeing another comment for us. Okay, you can read this later after you are done. Okay, I'll check it after I finish the explanation. Thanks for the comment. So if we are going to see another leg higher, most likely it won't be as big as you expected. Technically speaking, it will be just looking for the 33, 40 area. And in terms of percentage wise, let's just take it from the lows. It's going to be still a decent move. A 5 or 6x from the lows is still a decent move. But compare this to the first cycle, which was more than 50x. There is no comparison, basically. So you will be chasing the weak side of the market. That's why I'm saying, since the beginning of these live streams, that you need to be specific in choosing which coin you favor buying at this stage. I would stick to the bullish one, the one with the bullish sequence, the one that already took this previous peak, specifically the one from December 2024. Those coins are the one that could give you a better percentage, and those one already provide the good buying opportunity in April. So that's why the best buying opportunity happened in April, and those instruments already are trading into new highs. So let's continue with just checking the main one. Of course, SHIB, one of the favorite from the last cycle. This is again an example why the market is not as you always expect it to be. This is an old coin, and what it did here, it didn't perform well in 2024-23. Of course, in terms of percentage, if you did manage to buy the lows in 2023, you did manage to get a decent 7x move to the upside. However, this keeps creating, this is 2021 peak, a lower high, and this is another lower high. And what happens again? The market breaks the previous lows, and this is technically speaking opening in bearish sequence because it's creating lower lows. So SHIB, unfortunately, the cycle is underperforming, and I don't think SHIB is going to make new all-time highs anytime soon. For me, this is done for the cycle. All is going to be getting in the short term on the coming few weeks, few months, with the rest of the market, there will be a bounce for sure. Yeah, it could be doing. I mean, if it holds the lows of April or makes new lows, that doesn't matter for me. Either like this or from current levels holding the lows, but there will be a bounce happening. The bounce, technically speaking, is a decent move from the lows. It could be even a 2x, 3x move, but I think this will fail below the 2024 peak, and the market again will end up happening is going back into the same range from 2022-23. So this is another example that the meme coin hype is not going to give the expected return, specifically in the coming few months. Why? Because time-wise, Bitcoin is not going to do a 2x from here. It's still on the table to reach to 200k, of course, but I'm going with the minimum target. I would rather be safe than sorry at this stage. It's only 4 months into October, so I'm not going to bet on a superb rally around the entire market. I'll take the bet that the market will be peaking around October. If we get an extended cycle into next year, that's fine. But I'll need to take it step by step. And most importantly, we need to understand that the reason that the market is still not yet open, which is one of the main reasons that we still expecting this bounce to happen, is that the dollar is still expected to reach its target. You can see the dollar remains weak. It's trading lower. It keeps trading lower. We explained in the first live that until the dollar reaches this target area on 95, we should be seeing Bitcoin still trading into new highs. When the dollar reaches this area, which is the target, it can always extend lower. But most importantly for us, if you find that the dollar is sitting around 95, 91, and you find that Bitcoin is already within the target area 135, 150, that's your big warning sign. Take the money and close the position that you have. I mean, that's for me what I'm going to do at least. But that's the big warning sign that you should be leaving the market, because it's the time to take profit. When the Dixie, which is the dollar index, is at extreme, and Bitcoin at multiple weekly targets, the one from 2024 August and the one from 2022 and even the one from the previous lows from 2010, all giving us the main targets around these areas. So for me, that's a big warning sign. You should take profit. Anyway, so let's go back to SHIB, which is expected to bounce in the short term. I know a lot of them will be probably sideways to lower. We could even break the April low. You can see in the short term, what you can be seeing here is a 3-wave bounce. I mean, we can make, even if we want to force it as a 5, but I don't want to go with the labeling at this stage, because I still see a weak bounce compared to the rest of the market that already breaks into highs. This is only 70% bounce. So this is still one of the weakest. So let's move on to the newest one of this cycle. For example, Bonk, we explained it earlier that it already had the major rally earlier last year. What it's going to do now, either it's going to hold April and start rallying at least to correct the December peak. For me, this is not December, but yeah, November in this case. The best case scenario for Bonk, if it's going to be a bullish, it needs to do something similar to this, create a 5-wave advance, a pullback, then high again. This is if the cycle is going to extend. So I'm not going to bet on extension on the cycle, but the best case scenario is a bounce back toward the 50% 618 area. So we're testing this previous highs range. So somewhere around 45, 40 area. Keep that in mind, because when we reach this area and the market is around October or November, BTC at the peak, it's better to take profit and leave the market. If we are reaching this earlier, maybe on August, you see that we're already 5 waves to the upside. Yeah, that could open the extension higher for Bonk to make new all-time highs. Everything is on the table. I'm always keeping a bullish perspective for the market, and it should be aiming for 71.91. I'm not reading the zeros here to keep it simple for everyone. I mean, that's still technically speaking a decent 7 or 8x from the lows. Is that on the table? Of course. We need to hold April for that to happen. Without holding April low, the majority will fail below November. That's why I'm saying April is going to be a critical level for the entire session today, because if you see that your coin is breaking April, I have a bad news for you. Most likely this is not going to break into new highs, because that's going to confirm a low sequence again. It could open even more downside, and it's better for you to cash out after the next bounce. I always don't recommend to sell into new lows. The market always moves in a different structure, but it's always a bounce, then a next leg, pull back, then the next leg. There is no straight line in the market. You see here, even it breaks lower, a bounce, then a move lower. To the upside is the same. A move higher, a pull back, another leg higher. So even it's going to break lower, there will be a bounce coming by end of summer, and then it could drop lower. So the key levels is April. So if I take a look, for example, at WIF, which is holding stronger than the rest in the short term, I see a 5 wave. So this is a structure that we could be interested in trading or investing if you are a short-term trader. Of course, if you are buying and holding the long term, that's another story, but we are here to provide potential tradable setups for the market. I mean, we are not yet reaching the instrument that I want to discuss, so keep that in mind. The tasty or the best bullish instrument, they have a higher probability. WIF is not one of them, but at least the short-term structure is definitely better than Bonk and better than Pepe or Sheep or even Dogecoin. So if you take a look at the short term, back to the short term, I still see 5 wave from the lows. So this is again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 swing up. The 5 swing up suggesting that we could be seeing a 3 waves pullback. Now we got the first 3, and the market is in a decision time. The only thing that I can see here is 3 down and another 3 up. So the market isn't deciding which is the right path for the short term until it managed to find the extreme. So I'll explain in a second. So this was the first extreme. After the first 3 swings, the market find buyers around the 100% area, which is around the 0.81. This was technically speaking a buying area. Unfortunately, what happens after the buying area? The market have 2 choices. Either it rally into new highs to resume the trend similar to this one, or it will give you a double correction. The correction is always in 3, 7, or 11 swings, which we explain in our theory. And if you want to learn about it, you can always take a look at our website at elliottwave-forecast.com. So in 3 waves pullback, the market bounced it. Unfortunately, it only bounced in 3 waves. The 3 waves now is failing. What the market will be doing, looking at the next extreme. The next extreme is going to be defining similar to what I showed you earlier in Pepe. Is going to be against the April lows. It's going to be a critical level to hold. But if it managed to trade to the downside, then the market will be giving you another buying opportunity around 0.4733. I mean, if Bitcoin is going to drop another 10%, then this is, you can see, another 40%. Don't be scared about it, but that's definitely on the table. I'm just giving you the technical target. I mean, I'm not saying WIF would be dropping another 40 or 50%, but all the data is showing if Bitcoin is going to do a double on wave 2, or an ABC to the downside toward 97, 93, there is a high chance that some of these coins will be retesting the April low. So that's why you need to always consider the secondary path or the secondary scenario, because if you don't prepare yourself for this type of situation, you won't be looking to act accordingly, because when the market drops and you don't have a plan, you'll panic and try to sell it, and you find yourself selling at a buying area. That's majority of the time what happened with the traders. They are holding this. They did manage to buy the lows in April. They are holding this move. The market gives you a deep pullback in wave 2. You are scared. You sell your coins. What happens? The market bounce again. So let's suppose you are going to see this move establish another leg to the upside, and WIF is going to rally into new all-time highs. That's a statement that I'm not going to act on it, technically speaking, because for me this is still one of the weakest structure. The only thing that is supporting the idea that it could make a new all-time highs, because I see a 5 wave up in the first leg, This is the first leg. Then it was a bigger three-ways pullback, and even this pullback could be supporting the idea that this could be starting another leg to the upside, but I don't think this will be extending too much higher. This is open to debate, but if we're going to see a 5-wave advance toward $5, $6, which is a huge move to the upside, from current levels, it's around 6, 7x, but if you are going to see a double to test April low, this could be a decent 10 or 15x to the upside. Keep that in mind, but don't try to rush things. You need to see the timing of the move. If this is taken too much sideways without any clear 5-wave to the upside, without even breaking May peak, that's a warning sign that this is not going to break the previous peak. Now, a quick look at Floki. Despite being one of the oldest coins, this is an example of the coins not performing well in the second cycle. The first cycle was a huge rally. Again, this is from 2021. We see 35k%. That's basically a 3000x, more than 3000x move. Sorry, 300x, my bad, not 3000. 300x move to the upside. What happened in this cycle? It did manage to make new all-time highs, but I mean, this is only, see the difference? This is only a 60x move. Of course, the 60x is still quite good. If you did manage to catch any move in 2023, then you definitely enjoyed this rally. How I'm seeing Floki overall, it's similar to Dogecoin because it's bullish for me. The reason it's bullish because we have higher highs. And most importantly, the overall structure. The first leg was on 5, and even the second leg was on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 2 5 waves. Technically speaking, it's 1, 2, 3. So I only seeing 3 waves and 2 new highs, which is a bullish structure or bullish sequence because the market moves in 5 to the upside. I mean, in this case, it's the upside, so it's still missing another sequence. And what we call here at this stage, which is an example that we explained for Ripple in previous session, that is the weekly or monthly will remain bullish, which means in the next cycle, this has a higher probability of making new highs again. Do I think this will be rallying into new highs from here? Probably not, but it's on the table. It's still bullish. If it's going to rally into new highs when the cycle extends, I don't think the cycle will extend beyond October or beyond 2025, but if the cycle decides to extend into 2026, which majority are calling for here for an extended cycle, I'm seeing still a lot of people calling that the 4-year cycle is done and the market will keep extending higher. We won't be seeing that big crash in the crypto market. The market needs to prove us wrong. For me, I'm going to stick to the 4-year cycle. So for us, if this is going to extend higher, yeah, we could be aiming for targets higher around 0.0047 or 60. So there is tremendous upside if it's going to happen. However, if the market is just going to give you what the majority will be doing, just a larger 3-wave bounce, something similar to this in the coming few months, then it will be back to the same range, consolidate for a while like we saw in 2023-22. Then the next cycle will be starting the wave 3 of T, which will be stronger move to the upside. In terms of percentage, it could be less, but I would rather stick to this structure for now. So potential targets for the summer. I'll stick to the 50% for now. I'm always looking for technical targets based on the previous cycle, which is the peak from, in this case, June. I mean, you see why this is even weaker than the rest. Despite being bullish in the weekly and monthly, the daily and 4-hour is weak and not giving you any good structure. This high in June 2024, this is December or November 24. It did manage to make a lower high. So this is even an indication that the market is weak. It could, I mean, the bounce could fail around the 50%. So let's just delete the labels and show you again how this is still weak. This is the trend line from last year. And to be bullish, you need at least to break above this trend line. As long as we stay below it, this is weak for the short term. So I'm still expecting a bounce to happen. So something maybe similar to this by the end of the summer. And the market here will be decision time. When you reach these levels, by July, by maybe August or July, I would say August, September is more likely. But when you reach this level, you need to make a decision. Are you going to hold, looking for new all-time highs, or this is the right time to leave the market? So, okay, now let's switch because I'm checking the time. We should be entering the second phase because now we want to talk about the juicy part of the market, which coins, I mean, the newest coins that are giving you the better gains and the newest coins that are expected to provide better buying opportunities. Okay, I'm seeing a question here. Let me double check. Chip, yes. Okay, we already talked about chip, so yeah, we can continue here. I mean, let me read the previous question, and then maybe we can answer it in the time. So how to recover firstly? TH and they fall down. And I hope I can at least make some gains to recover. Yeah, so that's basically majority of the current situation of investors in the crypto market this year, because they picked majority of the coins in the recent 2 years, in 2023, 2024. And what happened? The market, as we explained in previous live shows, had different narratives, which is always the case. And the narrative didn't give anyone a good opportunity to, if you didn't enter the market at the right time with the right narrative, you find that you are left out and your coins or your bag is not even worth your initial investment. So that's a big issue that we are facing. So if you are on that category, I will give you a good solution by the end of the session, because I know the market is going to rally in the coming few months. So at least if you think that you are holding a bag that is not going to rally to new highs or even to recover your initial investment, then you need to make a plan how to recover, or at least make few gains in the coming few months, because the market, always there is opportunity left and right. So you need always to have a plan to act on it. So I'll answer that by the end of the session for sure. Okay, now let's go over the expectation of the leading coins. I would start with I'll go over, there is a lot of meme coins. We can cover all of them. I know there could be 1,000 of meme coins. I know the leading one, but if you take a look at the overall picture, it's going to be the same for the majority. I'm not going to bash any coin, but just to give a quick example why I don't expect, or why I'm saying a meme apocalypse already took place and we are basically on the aftermath. Only the few survivors would be able to walk out of this. If you take a look, for example, still good. They still did manage to give you a huge gain last year, but at current stage, the market is feeling the pain of the money flow not entering again into meme coins. And I can show you the data to as a proof here. So let's go over really quickly the data. This is what you want to see to understand the market. So as you know, majority of the memes, specifically the meme coin cycle, happened in Solana, which is the reason Solana was one of the best gainers. Even Solana, which, just going back to Solana really quickly, has a high probability of holding the previous peak. We still could make new highs, but remember, Solana, people are still waiting for the alt season for Solana to rally tremendously, but Solana already gave you a 30x move or 40x move to the upside. Bottomed around $8 and it rallied almost to $300. What do you want more than this? Of course, it's not going to be the same gain that you saw in 2021. This was a huge gain from the lows, but market always will give you, if you are picking any coin around the entire history of crypto, starting with Bitcoin, you have diminishing return in every cycle. That's a fact. Majority, basically 90% of the asset, 99% of the asset will have diminishing return. So you did have 50,000% move in the previous cycle. You're not expecting to happen in the second cycle. This one already gave you a decent 30x or 40x. I mean, this is a decent move in Solana. So going back to the memes, which happened in the Solana, majority of them, you see the volume, the peak happened in December 2024. That was the peak in volume for the Solana dexes, and that was the peak for meme coins. Since then, the market been dropping, and we can see despite the market, despite Bitcoin rallying into new time highs, despite volume going into the EI sector, you see the volume in the dexes for Solana for basically for this month, we are not breaking into new highs. Could this be starting the pump and we rally into new highs in the summer? Of course, that's on the table, but we can see we are not matching the level from December. That's why you are seeing these weak reaction taking place. If you take a look, for example, at WIF, that's why you are seeing this weak bounce happening, because there is no volume in the market for the memes. So you need to understand that this is really important. And without the money flow going back into memes, only few of them will be able to make these type of gains. And most importantly, if you go, I mean, there was always exception. If I take a look at this aura, which probably you heard about it in the recent 2 days because of this massive rally, since April low, you had a 37,000% move to the upside. So that's basically 300x in just 2 months. But I want to make this as a best example. This is a coin from 2024, a meme coin specifically. The first move in 2024 gave you 130k percentage. So basically that's 1000 more than 1000x as a move to the upside. But when you see this huge weekly candle, you see, okay, this is, I mean, I missed this, the biggest gains. But technically speaking, this is, I mean, let me put the logarithmic to explain it better. The move that happened in the recent 2 months is less in terms of percentage than the move that happened in 2024, which is again reflected on less volume. Don't let the chart deceive you. This is still good gains. I mean, if you did manage to buy Aura, congratulations. This was a decent 300x. You should be enjoying the rally. You should be taking profit. As always, don't be greedy. This is not going to run forever. They will always take profit. But technically speaking, this is the second cycle for this coin. And the second cycle, I mean, the second cycle with the current 2025 entire rally, it's already within technical targets. I'll show in a second. And you see, I'll be adding, you see here, it's hitting the 20618 area. And again, this extension could always be opened more. We've been seeing a huge gain, but I'm just giving you an example that there is always a coin that give you 100x within the meme coins. That's always an exception. But if you did manage, of course, to be on the right side for this one, congratulations. But 90% of the rest are still trading within the lows. So yeah, that's why I'm saying only specific coin will be doing. You won't be able to catch every one of them. That's why you need to focus. For example, this is a good example. I'm not saying you could have predicted this one, but let's take a look at the data. The first leg was in 5. The market then started correcting in 3. So technically speaking, this was a 3-ways pullback. What happened before the rally? I need to zoom in without having, let me give you a second. Before this rally happened, this was April low. That's why I'm saying April low is critical for the majority of the coins. Technically speaking, all it did was a 5-wave advance. So you see this 5-wave structure. The market then corrected in 3 waves. And then the wave 3 to the upside, which is the strongest, started from there. So it was just a purely technical move. If you did see that this was a 5 and we're looking to buy the 3-ways pullback, it managed to hold April low, then you could have predicted that at least this could be making new highs above the previous peak. The same example that I'm giving, for example, in let's see, in WIF in the short term. So you see this is a 5-wave from April. If WIF is going to hold April low above 0.3, then you should be expecting WIF to rally here. I'm not saying it's going to do 300x, of course, but at least you'll be seeing another leg to the upside. It's exactly the same textbook structure taking place. If you manage to identify this type of structure, it will give you an edge in the short term. I'm not saying you should be chasing every meme coins around the market that is showing 5 waves. I'm saying try to identify the one with the bull structure overall, specifically in the weekly, which will be showing in a second. But that identification of the bull structure is the edge for you to be able to predict what's going to happen next. Now, just to finish with the majority of them, I just want to go over the weekly. For example, if you take a look at Rekt, which is one of the favorite on base chain, they consider the leading coin for base. We have also Toshi, Rekt and Toshi both from base chain. Toshi at least did manage to make new all-time highs in January 2025, and it was a massive rally. This one remains bullish. It did a 30x move to the upside. I'm still seeing 3 swings up, so this is still an incomplete. It has a higher probability of making the new all-time highs if it managed to hold April low. And in this case, if it's going to still manage to make new all-time highs, there is a potential of targets higher towards 0.0028 or 36 area. Do I like the section in the short term? It's not it's not the worst, neither the best, because it's still 3 swings, but at least from the lows, you can see the rally did a 4 or 5x to the upside. Compare this to WIF or Bonk or Pepe, they are not giving you the similar gain. So for at least this one is still supported, create enough separation from April. If it managed to hold April, then I'm expecting the rally to continue, maybe even after a deeper retest, but I'm expecting the rally to continue in the summer, and there is a higher probability for this one to take the previous peak. However, Rekt in this case, which technically speaking was my favorite last year, but I need to go with the data for now. Despite being one of my favorite coin last cycle, it did huge gains. I don't have the entire chart here, but I can maybe check it on. Let's see, let's use this one, because it's better to show the entire history. I should have this in favorite, yes. So just allow it a few seconds to load. Yeah, it's almost the same chart, but okay, the lows from here. Not sure, it's not entirely loading the data, but let's say 0.0. Okay, there you go. So you can see last year, one of the best performing coins. This is more than 1000x to the upside from the lows. I know a lot of you probably here already holding Rekt. I'm not hating on Rekt. I still love the coin. Unfortunately for me, at current stage of the market, it needs to show me that it's going to hold April low. So I go back. First of all, I need to show that this is with the drawing tool. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing higher. So the weekly and overall picture is bullish. It's still a bullish sequence to the upside, but bullish doesn't mean this needs to rally into new all-time from this cycle. If it breaks April, most likely it's done. It will just fail in the short term, and only on the next cycle it will be rallying onto new all-time highs. However, for the coin to be able to rally into new highs with the current data, it needs to hold above 0.023. If it managed to hold it, then yeah, there is a chance for this to rally into, 1 second, I'll just take the inverted target here. So we still have a potential to rally toward 0.28, 0.36. That's technically speaking on the table. Now the reason I'm not putting these coins that I'm showing on my favorite list for this specific theme, they are not the leading one, because they are still trading below December peak, and the bounce didn't even reach the 50%. It's still bullish against April, but this is one of the, let's say, modestly weak coins. It still did a decent 3 or 4x to the upside. It's better than many other coins, but I want to see a bull sequence from the lows, which I'm not seeing at this stage. That doesn't deny that we should be still aiming for 0.2836 if April low holds. I'm not going to go over every coin with details because we are already 1 hour into the session. So I'm going to finish with the main leading coins. Then I'll take other question about other coins. I mean, majority of them, to be honest with you, are not worth investing if you are looking for 20 or 50x from the lows, because these are the biggest coin, or the majority of them that are already trading below the previous peak are not. For example, let's go at GOAT, which was one of the hyped coin, even related to EI memes. It's down 96% from the lows, from the peak, 90%. If I take a look at PopCat, even I still favor this one. From the peak, it's down 90%. MOG was still a good, which is still a good coin, is down 90% from the peak. You see what why I'm saying the money left the station for meme coins, because 90% means that, I mean, nothing is left. I mean, only bag holders. Doesn't deny that these can rally to new highs or they could start a new cycle, but I don't think all of these, I mean, this is only a few of them. These are only basically the biggest coins in the recent cycle, but you won't be expecting that all of these will be rallying into another high. That demands a lot of money, and the money is already, as we showed in previous session, the narrative is already switching with the money flow into EI, and the gains are happening in EI. Still, meme coins, I'm pumping left and right. We saw that Aura did tremendous rally. We saw that, for example, this is another example, Ange. I just wanted to give an example how we are. I mean, when the market bottom in April, many coins find good buying opportunity and the money flow is still there. But why we are not seeing, for example, 15,000 move in Pepe? Of course, this is already Bitcoin, but this one, which was launched on late April, so a short-term consolidation in May. Even on short-term, it was a three-way pullback. Then you can see it still did manage to do 100x, exactly 15,000%, which is 150x to the upside. So you can see the market is still giving you the 100x move, even the 1000x move, but you are seeing this less and less in the market because you are entering the final phase. Okay, now I hope everything is clear. Now switching to the main leading coins that I'm keeping for the session. I'll start with I already talked about this in previous session, but specifically for memes, I would love to start with the SPX 6900. For me, at this stage, I know you could be saying, okay, this is another meme coin that Crypto Twitter is talking about, or influencer like Morad is talking about, but I really don't care about what people are saying. I only care about the structure. Now, we need to understand that this is already massively rallied to the upside. I can't even read the number here. It's already 67 million% to the upside. So you see, imagine, I mean, this is more than, okay, let me just double check. This is more than 60,000 X to the upside. I mean, it's just a huge number. I mean, I know majority of you know the story. I'm not going to talk about this. All I care for now is the bullish structure that SPX 69 is showing. I mean, I hope that this week we could see new all-time highs, to be honest, because it was close. That would confirm the bullish structure, but at least we are seeing the consecutive structure keep showing. We've been talking about this since the lows. The moment it managed to, I've been tweeting about this for a period of time because I recognized that the rally from March was in 5 waves and then it started creating a sideways. This is really important to recognize from the lows. First of all, in April, we didn't manage to make a new low, so it's a higher low in April. And what happened here in April? It was a sideways consolidation that finally did manage to break out. And since then, the market started creating technically speaking, what we call a nest. A nest structure is when the market starts building a potential big breakout, but it's type of steps that you see 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, it makes a high, then start building this type of structure and move higher, a pullback. But most importantly, it keeps creating higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then the breaks take to the upside take place, and you're seeing the acceleration now happening. So most likely SPX 69 will continue to the upside, most likely be making all-time highs sooner or later. This is one of the strongest structure in the short term compared to the rest of the market. This is already almost retesting the January 2025 peak. So technically speaking, compared to the rest of memes, already enough separation from the lows. We already rallied 7x. So this is a more bullish instrument. And for us to be able to open the next leg higher, you could expect SPX 69 to rally at least $2 or $3. If this is really wave 3 after the first leg from here, the wave 2 in April, and the wave 3 taking place. I know all about, there is no chart about SPX 69. I'm just basing on my technical targets. So don't go all on me for giving you targets here. After all, you need to have targets to be able to take profit. I'm not going to hold any coin forever. We need to face the fact that we are all here to make money. So you need to have levels, specific level to be able to take profit. Everyone make his own strategy. But for me, technically speaking, this bullish structure needs to break above the previous peak, which is around 1.77. The moment we break that peak, you should be still seeing acceleration higher toward 3.1 all the way toward 4.8. I know this is not the best point entry. I'm not saying you should be buying SPX 69 here. I mean, the best entry was around below $1, technically speaking, around 0.5, 0.6. But this is still having potential move to the upside. From the lows, this could be a decent 10x move if you did manage to catch the lows. And the short term, it still has a potential 2 or 3x within the coming 2 or 3 months. So I'm still expecting this to remain one of the leading meme coin in the short term because of the bullish structure that is taking place. Now, keep this in mind. This is not the most bullish one because we still didn't manage to break the previous peak. If you take a look at the second one, which is Coin, this is also below the previous peak. So it's not the most bullish one, but what I really like about Coin is that the first rally was in 5 swing. The second rally is a constructive one showing an impulsive 5-wave advance. Not the best impulsive. It's looking to be a leading diagonal, which is always a good if you see a leading diagonal and manage to identify it. Specifically, it did create separation from the lows. This is what I like about Coin. It created 700% move to the upside. So similar to SPX 69, there is separation from the lows. We have constructive structure taking place, and we explained it before that you should be waiting for this to correct to be able to enter it. Now this correction is still taking place, which is giving you still a good entry if you are not yet having a bag of altcoin. I'm not suggesting you should be looking to buy now. Please always do. Keep in mind everything can go to zero anytime, but technically speaking, after a 5-wave advance, there should be 3 ways pullback. So either the market, which is still following this path, have the wave 2 in place. It reached the 50% area on the $1, 0.92, 0.75. Either the wave 2 is done and we should be starting the wave 3, which will be the strongest. In this case, you should be looking for a move higher toward 2.3, 3.2 in the coming few weeks. Or if Bitcoin, again, I refer always to Bitcoin, is going to do the move lower toward 97K, then this will open another leg lower in Coin, which will be a better buying opportunity in terms of risk reward against April low. I'll switch to the lower time frame to show you the next buying area. In case if we drop, which is on the table, then this was your A, this is your B, and the market will give you a wave C. Again, I repeat, this is not what I'm expecting. In case it happens, you should be looking to buy. I'm not going to suggest go ahead, sell it and look for lower levels around 0.75. If you hold the bag and you are looking to add, then this is the next area to add to your holdings around 0.75, 0.56. if the market managed to give you this gift, I would be taking this one because I already have a small bag from earlier in April, similar to the rest of the market when it gave you the buying opportunity. Now, if you are looking to add, I would be waiting for this area. And the target to the upside, as I mentioned, we need, of course, to break the previous peak, but I will give you my personal target for this cycle for altcoin will be based on this cycle that took place from from the peak, based on this connector from January peak and to the March low. This is similar to SPX, which is one of the reasons I'm really liking these coins, because in April they never managed to break the lows. They have a higher low in April, which is why one of the reasons I like I like these coins, because they have a better looking structure. So to the upside, if we are starting a wave 3, then most likely we will be at least aiming for the 618 area, which is the golden ratio here, 4.6. And if the market is generous enough, it will be extending into the $7.3 area. So most likely this is the target area if you are a daily investor and you did manage to catch the low, or you are still holding from last year. I would be taking profit around this level, 4.6, 7.3. I don't care if the market will be extended to $10. That's not going to change anything. I'm always about taking profit. So the first area to start looking for take profit for me would be around $4. Do I expect this to happen? This has a higher probability scenario of happening compared to, for example, Dogecoin making new all-time highs. I would rather own at this stage in the coming few months Altcoin, because it will be looking to break above the $3 rather than holding Dogecoin and hoping for Doge to go to $1. Same for the SPX 69. I know a lot of expecting maybe $10 or higher targets. I'm okay with the market reaching those targets, but I'm always going to take profit on the first initial target. So $3 all the way to $5, I'll be taking some profit for sure. If the market shows that this is not stopping anytime soon, for example, if the market goes straight like this, and this is still within a wave 3, because there is always a way to identify the structure during the move, then of course I will be looking to look for higher targets during that move. It's always step by step. I'm not going to rush into conclusion. I'm not going to say the peak will happen exactly around $5. No, of course not. When the move happen and the break to the upside take place, I will be updating. I will be looking for the structure to evolve. Then I'll be giving you my conclusion. Okay, finally, the final one that I'm going to talk about today is Rekt. Unfortunately, this one managed to break strongly before the live show. I mean, I was watching, I posted about, this in the recent 2 weeks after this tremendous move. So I posted about this when it did, after it did, of course, 800. I'm not saying I called this move. No, definitely not. I'm always trying to identify the bullish structure. So I was looking for a good, clean structure that did manage to rally since April. This one even better since March, similar to SPX 69 and Altcoin. That's why you can see the pattern here. I'm looking only for coins that has a 5 swing to the upside, and most importantly, the one that had a higher low in April. So there has a higher probability of breaking the previous peak. You can see we had a clear 5 wave up. And what happens here? I explained it that I like to wait for at least 3 waves pullback, specifically to hold above the range of the previous breakout, which was here. And then I expected the market to continue higher. And it just managed to break higher in the recent few days, and tremendous rally. I mean, even if you did manage to trade the short term. So for example, people say, okay, I missed the 9x or 10x move to the upside. What's next? How I'm going to ride this one? You just start buying the pullbacks. Even if you missed the first rally, okay, you still have a chance of the second rally. It's not going to be as big as the first one, but if you did manage to break the lows here, which I'll show in a second, you are already up 60%, for example. So if I go to the 4-hour chart, this was just a typical buying opportunity. So after the 5 wave move, the cycle ended. The market, all it did is a 3 ways pullback into the buying blue box area, which is an ABC from the peak. And you can see perfectly the market is respecting. Okay, let me just zoom like this. You see here, this is purely technical structure. I didn't know what the coin was going to announce, or if any broker is going to add it to the list. All I saw was a 3-way pullback after 5 up. So this was a good buying opportunity. I definitely took it. The market stayed within the blue box for a few days. I basically ranged it here, and then what happens? The market resumed the rally into new highs. Now, with the break to the new all-time highs here, you could be looking for the targets to the upside, step by step. The first target is looking for the equal X from this wave 1 and 2, which is around 52. I'm not going to read the zeros, of course. 52 all the way towards 68. And this could keep extending, because remember, we have the first leg. And now we are starting the next cycle. So we have still more upside, I believe, to take place for Rekt. Something similar to this to happen. Another 3-way pullback later on. And then a final leg to the upside. This could be going well with the timing. I'm not sure if it's going to happen straight from here. I'm not sure if the market is going to, again, give you another buying opportunity. Technically speaking, the best way to trade it is to look for the next 3-way pullback. If the market is generous enough, will give you something similar to this and rally. Majority will be looking maybe for a test of the previous peak. It's on the table, but I wouldn't be favoring a deep pullback, to be honest with you. I would rather stay with a shallow pullbacks to keep this in flow. You see small pullbacks, small pullbacks, small pullbacks, and higher. So maybe something similar to this, and then higher again. Hello, Rosemary. Let me. Okay, thank you for joining. Great seeing the EWF member joining. Okay, I'll continue. I'll read your question in a second. Just let me finish with Rekt, and then I'll read. Thank you for your comment as well. Okay, so if you're going to buy this into this pullback, I would really want to see a 3-way pullback. Let me double check the 4 hours. Okay, there is still a chance of making new highs for sure. So I'm not seeing the 5-way up from the lows yet. So let me delete the pullback area. So if this was the 5-way advance, so technically speaking, your invalidation level will be the lows from the 2nd of June. And if you want to trade this one or looking for an interesting structure, wait for this to end again. The US pullback. If it managed to hold the lows, you find a good buying opportunity here. Again, keep in mind the market always 5, 3, 7, or 11. Then it resumes the rally. So just a quick recap. These are the 3 that I like. There could be others. Let's be clear about. There is millions of meme coins around the market, but the 3 that I really like the structure based on the current daily and weekly, specifically the short term. Rekt is the first one and the first degree. Even in terms of giving you higher targets later on, this one has a higher probability because it already made the new all-time highs. The second degree, SPX 69, because it's close to the break of new all-time highs. And we are not seeing the wave 3. The structure still didn't break into the wave 3. And wave 3 will always be the strongest among the entire cycle. So I would expect this to accelerate. Probably by the end of the summer, we'll be seeing the strong acceleration. But don't count me on that. It could happen just the next day. I don't care. I mean, the market could just give you another buying opportunity lower levels. It could correct the entire cycle from April or March. I mean, this would be a gift if it managed to happen. And finally, Factcoin. As explained earlier, if it managed to give you the double low towards 0.75, 0.60 area, I would definitely take this. I will reload the chart just for you. Sure. Okay, so I'm reading the question in the meantime. So you are asking about the crypto miners. Do you mean in general, or you have specific stock? If you have any specific stock, please do let me know. Otherwise, yes, for sure, I will be taking a look at that. Not sure why this is loading. Okay, so let's go back to the chart. I'll keep reading the comment. Sure, that's really good. Okay, just checking if there is any a new comment. I will answer you, Mary, in a few. Just let me finish with this one. Then I'll definitely check that for you. Okay. So I was looking for, yeah, the target, the buying area for Factcoin, just the exact area will be this one. If we manage to make the double, then, oh, let's say not the double, but the next leg lower, then I will definitely buy it around 0.75, 0.56. Sorry, 0.56, yeah. Okay, now let me take a look at previous questions just to be sure. I have to answer the first one. Okay, I'm just reading again just to be clear. So now, okay, if we have identified, so to answer how to recover if you are still holding bags, that, for example, let's take a real life example here. Okay, let's suppose you are holding Shiba Inu, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's say you bought, okay, let's take a situation where you bought last year, but now you are not in profit. For example, you bought September last year, which was the start of the what I called, for me that was the second alt season of for this entire rally. So if you did manage to, yeah, you did manage to have good gains here, but you didn't take profit, and the market now is trading below your entry or within the lows, and you are seeing that, okay, maybe shit is not Shiba or it's not going to make new all-time highs, and you are thinking, okay, what I'm going to do here? You have two options, to be honest with you. If you are going to stick to the coins that are underperforming, either you should be making your plan to exit during the next bounce. This is based on the scenario that you are supposing that this coin in particular won't be breaking into new highs. So you should be timing this and just exiting the market in the next bounce. Most likely majority of the coin, even you are holding a weak coin that didn't perform well, it will be bouncing. It won't be a big bounce. Maybe even just a 2x is good enough. If it's not, then unfortunately that's when you go to the second strategy. But for that, you need to wait for the bounce to happen and then you exit. However, if you want to make money or at least make some profit, then you should be unfortunately taking the loss now, which is a hard way, but this is really important. It's not the easiest way, but for me, what I see, when I see traders around the world or investors around the world, that's the most important thing, setting up stop loss. If you didn't, of course, set stop loss, that's why you are in this situation. So you need to take the loss, and if you want to recover, which is not the best watch, but we need to move to the leading coins. Okay, let's take an example. You are trading the meme coins, you are holding Shiba. You leave the position even with a loss, because in terms of percentage, okay, you say this is going to be a failing bounce. So most likely it just will give me 2x from here. Now let me check Factcoin. I'm just giving the example because we just talked about Factcoin because it's expected to rally into new highs. So if I sell Shiba and switch to Factcoin, even buying at these levels, and if there is a potential target toward, let me put again the target to the upside. Remember, it's all about perspective. I'll give my conclusion at the end. So, okay, there is a minimum target probably around $4.5. Okay, let's say it's going to $4. So Shiba is going to do most likely 2x and fail below the previous peak. While this one, even I'm buying at current levels, I'm not saying you should be doing this now, but this will be giving me 3x or 4x to the upside. So this is a better opportunity for you to recover your money or initial investment if you switch to Factcoin than, for example, holding Shiba. So it's going to be a hard decision for sure. I understand this because majority of people don't want to leave their positions, or they don't want to sell. They always want to hold. They want to hold the coins in hope of new highs, in hope of recovering. But what end up happening is majority of the coin end up doing a lower high, and they are missing the rest of the market. So it's a tough decision, I understand, but everyone needs to do it. For me personally, I've been through the situation before. and I did understand that you need to make that decision of switching. This happened for me, I believe, in the summer of 2020, when I see the shift from DeFi starting into other sectors after the DeFi summer. I didn't sit with my altcoins and started switching, looking for the bullish structure around the market, looking for the most hottest narrative. And for me, that saved my portfolio in 2020. Because if I stick to the old coins that I was holding, despite, I mean, they did manage to do good gains in 2021. But for me, if I compare the gains, I mean, the newest coin with the bullish structure gave me maybe 5 or 6 more gains than the one that I was holding. So that's why, and the one I holding, majority of them didn't even make new highs. I mean, I was lucky enough to identify this early, but that's why I'm suggesting that you should be doing the same. You didn't miss anything at this stage. Even if you are in a loss, you should be making a decision. Either you want to take the loss or maybe recover just your initial investment when the market bounces. But if you want to look for gains, you need to switch to the hottest narrative, or let's say not the hottest narrative, but the best bullish structure within these leading coins. For example, you can review the previous session. We talked about, for example, Hype. We've been recommending Hype since April, when it was around $10. It was one of the newest coins in this cycle, specifically this year. After a 3-ways pullback into the buying area, we did recommend this as a good buying opportunity. You can see, I mean, if you are down in April and you just decided to switch to Hype, it's already up 4x from the lows, from the buy, technically not from those, but from the buying area. But it was a decision to make. Sui was one of them, for example. I know you mentioned Sui, for example. Sui is still good enough. If you're still holding Sui, you have a higher probability of Sui retesting the previous peak or making new highs. I'm still expecting Sui to reach 6.2, 7.6. So this could be, if you are holding Sui, you are good for now. If it managed to hold April low, you will be seeing Sui by the end of the summer trading around $7 or $6. So you will be good with Sui making new highs. So that's a coin for you to watch. But keep in mind, if it managed to break April low, I believe Sui is done, like majority of the coins that are going to break these lows. So Sui needs to hold these lows for now to be able to rally. There is plenty of coins around the market that are showing bullish structure. I mean, you can review the session, or maybe you can always ask me and privately. I can always help you identify a few of them if you want. Okay, so let me check the other question, which is about the crypto miners. So yeah, overall the crypto miners didn't perform well this cycle. Let's be clear about that. I have few of them here, or let's say crypto stocks, as I call them. So just to look at the overall picture, I'll put the weekly. I'll go to show BTB. Sorry, BT. Yeah. For example, you're welcome to us. If you still don't want me to clarify it more, please let me know. I'll explain it with more details. But overall, my personal recommendation is switch the weakest into the strongest, because we still have at least 3 or 4 months of an upside move later on. Maybe not today the exact time. I mean, you need to identify the best structure in the short term. Even if you are not a technician, you could always ask around, but the clearest one are the one that already managed to make new all-time highs, basically. So overall, this is a cycle from 2021. Miners are making lower highs, so they are definitely weak. You are correct about that assumption. They lost their appetite. I mean, not everyone is looking for miners to give them the best gains. I think only one of them that I still identify as good, because I'm following closely in the short term, but you can see here, it's making lower highs, even Mara. Right, let me double check again. I think this one, yeah, is within a downtrend even. Since, I mean, this is the 2021 peak, and from 2024 they are trading within the downside. So yeah, this is not looking good for them unless there is a catalyst for them to break to the upside. I don't think the market is going to give you the best bullish structure or the best bullish market in the short term for these stocks, for sure. Okay, just let me double check. Okay, the only one that could be maybe making new highs, which I'm keeping an eye on it. I tweeted about this one. Galaxy Digital, because it did manage to break above January 2025. There is a higher high sequence. Is this really bullish? To be honest with you, technically speaking, this is suggesting that it should be trading to new highs. The reason for this, it managed to hold, for now, it's creating separation from April low. It did attempt to break this downtrend. It's still failing below it. So for now, it's not the most bullish outlook. It could be just a double top like this one. The only thing that is bullish is that it managed to make new highs. Now, for this to become really bullish, I need to see, because you see this higher highs, that's technically speaking a bullish sequence, and most likely this one, I hope you are still here, Rose, because I'm going to answer your question, but this is part of the answering, because not every miner is going to give you this kind of setup. This one, technically speaking, is calling for a move still higher towards 42.62 area. This could happen with the move higher in Bitcoin, of course. For now, there is no confirmation yet. It could still fail. In the short term, I want to see April low holding, and most importantly, I want to see, because this is looking to be a straight 5-wave up, I want to see a clear 3 waves. If the market is going to give us this type of a bounce, hold the lows of April, then there is a high probability of this break into the upside. So if you are trading any stock related to crypto and you are sticking to the stock market, keep this in your watch list, because it did break the peak, and this is technically speaking a bullish sequence. This could present a good buying opportunity. I mean, even it doesn't give you the exact level to buy, you can just stick to the regular 50% area. 50, let's see. It's already within the buying levels. I mean, the market could drop next week still with the tension that's happening around the world. This is still part of the correction, but your stop should be $11. You should be just putting your stop below $11, because if you break the lows, then it's done. But if it managed to hold April, then this will be having a potential move. Let me see the percent wise here. So let's say you are going to take a position around the 23. So yeah, that's potentially an 80% all the way toward, yeah, even a 2x move to the upside and on the table, if it's going to follow Bitcoin and the rally to new highs later on. Now let me take a look at your stock here. I'm not adding this one to my list. I already checked this one before, but it's the same as the rest I just showed you, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's the same old story with the coins or the cycle that fails to make a secondary cycle. Now, where is the block I just want? You see here, this is clearly just sideways. I mean, let's talk about it in technical term. This could be just a big accumulation. Maybe this is not the right time for the stock to explode higher. This could be maybe in the next cycle or maybe next year. I don't know when, but this is a big accumulation. As long as the stock is not going to zero, which is always the case, there will be a time when this one will be breaking higher. But for now, I don't see the best bullish sequence in the short term, despite seeing a 5 swing up. I can count this. Yeah, no, this is a new low. So this is not even a 5 waves, because I count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So technically speaking, there is still diversion, but technically speaking, this is a corrective structure. This is not a bullish structure. And even these lows, let me double check. Yeah, it did manage to take April 2024. So this is even showing a low sequence, technically speaking. So to be honest, there is not a bullish sequence to be able to go with it. But what I can say for now, if we are going to see the next few months with a bullish market, with the crypto market making a huge bounce or a bigger buying opportunity for Bitcoin to rally into new highs, this is your April low. That's your defensive line. As long as it holds these lows, you have two scenarios. This will continue higher and reach the next equal legs. This is the most bullish case that I can give you. But I think there is a flat in between, to be honest. Yeah, there is a potential flat. I'll give the minimum number, but I'm skeptical about it. I don't think this is going to be the best target to watch, but there is a potential to go towards 6.9, which is definitely a big move in terms of percent here. I'm not saying this will happen, but yeah, that's even a 2x move. But step by step, if it managed to create a 5 waves up, then yeah, it could be breaking above the $5 and breaking. But the first step here is to hold April low. If it managed to hold it, at least you'll be doing this by the end of this year or by the end of the summer. I don't know exactly. I mean, this is a weekly. Let me go to the daily. You are welcome, my friend. I'll still give you the targets and the daily in the short term, because let's see. Okay, what is really good here is you are already seeing 5 wave from the low. So yeah, if the cycle has ended, then the bounce is already in progress. So it needs to hold above 169. In that case, it will be doing 3 waves pullback, at least based on this structure, will hold 169 and will be trading higher towards 3.2, 3.7. That's in the short term. Later on, by the end of the summer, if you see that the structure is still impulsive, then it will be opening more upside. But only if this is a 5 wave advance, because it could fail after just a 3 and the market could still open from here. Now it's step by step, but yeah, there is a potential for this move. It's not the highest probability. Minimum target for the summer, I believe, will be around 3.2, 4.2. Just keep that in mind. Okay, any other questions? I hope I answered the majority of them. And you are welcome, my friend, for a question as well. Going back to just a quick recap. So overall, that's for sure. Okay, so I believe we are going to... Okay, before I finish, I just want to mention, I mean, going back to the meme coins, just one last comment about it. Because I know everyone... Yeah, I saw this question also on Twitter, so I'm going to answer it either way. Now, if I go back to the weekly chart of Dogecoin, I'm just putting the target to the upside. So, the $1 question, which everyone will Dogecoin reach $1? I believe it will do, but doesn't mean it's going to happen this cycle. I believe finally it will. I mean, at the end, Dogecoin will be breaking above $1 as long as it's staying there. It's been there since 2013. This won't be going anywhere. I mean, it's not going to go to zero for me. I believe Dogecoin will remain one of the OG coins and is going to survive the next bear market and is going to trade into new all-time highs. Most likely the next cycle, it will be breaking above $1. Doesn't mean that the cycle doesn't have a chance of the move happening, but I think we are seeing the stage of some altcoins like we saw with Ripple and with Tron, that there is some coin that could skip a cycle, continue the accumulation, and then the next cycle, the breakout will be strong. I mean, if I take a look at XRP here, we see what happened in the previous cycle. Let me just put the regular chart. This is what Dogecoin is showing here. If you put the two charts, you see that you are seeing the similar path. This was the 2021 in terms of Dogecoin peak, and then it did in the next cycle a higher low. But what's happened, it was just part of the accumulation within a bigger 1-2. And the next cycle, the market is breaking into new all-time highs. I believe Dogecoin could be doing the same. You see here this pattern? Like this. And XRP USD. I will put them together, but just to show here. See this one? So yeah, you could be seeing the same. That's why I'm saying I'm still believing in Dogecoin to go $1, but most likely it won't happen this summer. I hope that answered the question. So I believe the market will still definitely rally. Keep looking for, I mean, I'm not saying buy every dip in the market. I would rather wait for April cycle to continue the correction for some of them. I would stick to the leading coins like SPX69, like Factcoin, Rekt. There is plenty of other. You can suggest them. I can take a look at them. I'll always sharing these type of views on my Twitter. You can always check it and on my Twitter handle at Alienovicio on X. I always share these type of structures, but I always favor buying the pullbacks against the lows if you have a bullish sequence. In this case, like Rekt, you can be looking to buy the pullbacks. There is a couple of others, but I can't go through all of them. So keep that in mind. Overall, the market should remain bullish until the end of October. Could be heading into maybe a sideways correction in the coming few weeks in June, maybe early July. But this is part of how the market works. Bitcoin is the leading one. Either the wave 2 is in place or sideways to the downside in the coming few weeks. Wave 2 in place, then we rally above 120 toward 135. I'll be sharing this in a few for sure. So keep in mind for everyone, I mean, you can always, if you want to learn really Elliott wave and learn the strategy of the blue box, applying this high frequency strategy that you are using for the extreme areas, you can check our website on elliottwave-forecast.com. We provide premium forecast for Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, BNB, and Dogecoin as well. We also have some free ads that we always post about from time to time. And if you are really interested in following the short-term updates, I would recommend to follow the main handle, which is Elliott Forecast for our company. If you want to follow me personally for regular daily update about altcoins and crypto market, then it's Alienovicio at X. I hope that was clear. And also share the link on the chat. You can get it. So thanks everyone for attending. Keep in mind always, if you are in doubt, zoom out. So thanks everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and follow us on Twitter. I hope you liked the session, and see you on the next one. Have a good weekend and take care.